What's going on YouTube? This is Tyler back again with another video, and today we are going to be doing a crossover video for a card that I submitted to PSA originally, didn't like the grade, cracked it out, submitted it to SGC. So guys, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of backstory around this card. Check out the next couple of clips that'll just show the progress of me getting the card, submitting it to PSA, taking it to the National, getting the reveal back, cracking it, then getting the reveal back from SGC, and now we're going to be doing a dedicated video about the card and my thoughts about it, as well as a little bit of controversy of the SGC crowd not really believing that I actually did this, and just my thoughts about the SGC fanboyism that is taking over the sports card community, because these guys are like religious zealots. They are just zombies.
Don't you touch my drums!
So, gonna give all my thoughts about this, but let's see some of the clips.
I apologize. This is probably the biggest question mark of the order, so I'm actually going to take this out and see if there's anything that we can see here. I don't really get why it came back a 6. So again, I'm looking at this card through the camera, so if you guys see anything that I don't see, let me know, because I would really like to know. If there's a surface wrinkle, like a crease, that automatically knocks the card down to a 4. So having a grade of a 6 immediately tells me that that's not the case. I thought that I might have seen it, but it might have been that psychological thing where if you're trying to find something to justify a score, you're like, oh, it's there. Well, I don't see it this time. I don't see anything wrong with the card on the surface. And I'm waving the light through it, and I don't see anything wrong. I mean, maybe something right here, but it could just be the light that's hitting it, but nothing that would knock it down to a 6, right? At least I don't think. Again, I've had multiple people look at this card and they can't find anything wrong with it. Similar to the Vlad Guerrero Jr. That came back in 8. And also the Revolution that came back in 8. I mean, nobody is really finding significant flaws for some of these cards. So, yeah, I mean, I wish that everybody could just look at this card the way that hold it in their hands and see what I'm missing.
So bottom line is, I bought the card, sent it to PSA at the National, it came back a 6 at the National, and at that point, after I uploaded the video, I was pretty content with just selling this card. You know, who wants a PSA 6 Ohtani in their collection, especially whenever he is at his all-time high price? Might as well sell it now. But I do interact with comments down below, and one of the followers of the channel, someone who I've interacted with quite a bit, made the great recommendation that he would crack the PSA 6 Ohtani and send it to SGC. For the most part, I really don't like cracking and resubmitting cards, even if I know that it has a chance at getting a bump just because of the time value of money. But given that this was a 6, and I didn't really see any flaws at the time, there were some individuals who stated that they thought that they saw the flaw right above where the actual flaw is. If you look in the video, I'm not exactly sure if you can see it. It does look like there's a wrinkle there, but I don't think that's the actual wrinkle. I think that's actually a wrinkle in the case itself. But Tampa Home Investors does say that he would rather crack it, and he thinks that would be a good strategy. And I replied, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. I'm just going to do this for a test run. Might make for a fun video. So that's exactly what I did. Today we're going to be cracking into a PSA case. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it safely, and all the supplies that you need. So here we go. That is exactly how you want to do it. Nice and easy. You all can see the PSA slabs have that inner sleeve, which is really, really cool. So we cracked this bad boy out, and we are going to have it now regraded. Cupo. You all can see my next big card. This is the big one that's probably going to pay for the order. And this card's going to have its own separate video, because this is a crack and resub. So yeah, yeah, we're gonna do a video on this one. All right, so this one came back at SGC 10. Won't talk too much about that. This is probably around a $1,500 card. So actually glad that I cracked it and resubmitted that. And here we are. So obviously you guys can see this card graded a perfect SGC 10. Beautiful card. This is what I expected it to grade, but I will say, whenever I popped this card out of its holder, I looked at the card after the fact just to see what was wrong with the card, and I did see what looked like a roller wave. It's not a roller mark. It's not a print line. It's not an indentation. It's not a crease. None of those things were present on the card, but it looked like a wave in the card, almost like you were going, straight cardstock, flat cardstock across the back, and it just had a minor valley, and it's not a small valley like a pin dot. It's just like a wave. So my hypothesis for why this card graded at PSA 6 is, and I don't know anybody, I am a nobody, I don't connect with anybody at PSA, I don't know anything about what takes place there, so I don't even know if they're using Genament. They say that they are, I don't know. But I think that they are actually using Genament technology, and if the technology is picking up surface aberrations or deviations from what the rest of the cardstock looks like, it's detecting that as a flaw, and there's likely a manual review that they're looking at to make sure that that's valid, and the card likely got dinged. This is at the National. Whether they're using that at the National, who knows? But to my naked eye, whenever I got the card, I didn't think that it had a flaw, but it very well could have been that I didn't inspect the back as much as I should have. So whenever I got the PSA 6, I was like, well, maybe there's got to be something wrong with the surface on the back. Sure enough, I did see a flaw whenever I cracked it. But it's also something where, to the naked eye, it's so small, I thought that if I submitted it to SGC, that it might get by a grader. So I did that. I submitted it to SGC. Now, does the card deserve a PSA 6? No, I still disagree with that. Was there a flaw? Yes, there was. How severe is the flaw? Like, is it part of the normal card stock and does it need to be a perfect 10? Honestly, I don't know. And I'm looking at the card right now in the holder. I have it in hand. And I still don't even see it now that it's encapsulated. So it's almost like my mind is playing tricks with me. But the whole point of this video is just to show that I did this one time, and it's an anomaly, right? Doesn't mean that PSA is better. It doesn't mean that SGC is better. This is an N of 1. So you all saw I've done previous videos where I did a Super Express order of 4 cards to PSA. Every single one of them, there was not a single Gem Mint card there, and I disagreed with it. At least 2 of the cards, in my opinion, deserve to be Gem Mint. So it is relatively frustrating to see that there is some inconsistency in grading, but that's part of it. That doesn't mean necessarily that PSA is better or that SGC is better. What does really, really, really annoy me is whenever there are fanboys on either side of the argument.